Hi, this is Frode and welcome back to Actualize Notes TV. Today we have another great book, The Analects by Confucius. The Analects. Confucius was a great thinker, great human being, and an insatiably curious learner, as we'll go more into in the big ideas of today. And he lived around, he's said to have lived around 2500 BC, and that's around the time Lao Tzu and the Buddha lived. And it's also been said that Lao Tzu was actually the teacher of Confucius at one time or another. And how cool would that be? And this book is a really great book assembled by the disciples of Confucius, who wrote it after he died. And it's got a lot of Confucius' sayings throughout his life. And if you're into ancient wisdom, I think you'll dig the book. I highly enjoyed it and find a lot of useful ideas that we're going to talk about today. Find my favorite ones. Let's start with the first one. 50 years. So Confucius has a really great quote in the book. He says, "At 15 I set my heart on learning. At 30 I took my stand. At 40 I came to be free from doubt. At 50 I understood the decree of heaven. At 60 my ear was attuned. And at 70 I followed my heart's desire without overstepping the line." That's inspiring. If you want to master anything, 50 years to do it, eh? I think one of the best things we can apply from this idea is the virtue of patience. Studying and learning and mastering any field takes a lot of time. You can't measure it in clock time. Let's start the timer and see how long will it be until I master this. It's over a long extended period of time. That's everything we need to know. And also, Confucius prided himself off of his love of learning. He said that many other people could be better at doing the good to others and doing what was the best for the state and all other things you can be good at. But nobody could surpass Confucius in his eagerness to learn. And he also would ask questions all the time. People would wonder whether he actually knew the laws of his city when he was also always asking questions. But he said that asking questions is a good law in itself, because it helps you learn. So, how are you doing on your patience of study and priding yourself of your eagerness to learn? Our second big idea is copy plus correct. So Confucius said that in the company of two men, I can always learn something. And he said that in the good things, the good points of people, he copies the good qualities. And the bad ones, he corrects, not in the others, but in himself. Because there is always something we can learn from other people. From the good traits and their bad ones. We can use them and copy what's good and use what's bad as reminders of what we don't want to be like. Instead of getting all jealous and angry at people who are better than us and people who are worse than us. Think about how you can start applying this idea, who you can copy, who you can correct in yourself. Our next big idea is why study. Confucius talks about the fact that in ancient times, and that was 2,500 years ago, he talked about ancient times, which is a lot earlier. He said that in ancient times, people studied to improve themselves. But nowadays, 2,500 years ago, people study to impress others. Which makes me wonder, why are you studying? Whatever it is you're studying. If you're studying for a degree, if you're studying life, philosophy, or anything else, why do you do it? Do you do it to improve yourself and become a better human being? Or do you do it to impress others? Your family, your friends, your co-workers, or society in general? Okay, see how you're doing on that and make the necessary adjustments. We want to study to improve ourselves. Our next big idea is shoe. So one of Confucius' disciples asked him whether there was one word that a man can use as a guide throughout his life. And yes, Confucius said, that word is shu. Do not impose on others what you yourself do not desire. That's the meaning of the word shu. And it reminded me of Jesus, because he also said those exact words. And Jesus, remember, lived around 500 years later, so it made me wonder whether it was there he got it from. And also, I found it great, I was a bit curious, so I looked it up on Google, and I found a great picture of Jesus hanging out with a lot of kids and disciples, and he said, gotta check it on my phone, my iPhone 4, really sophisticated technology. He said, yes, bro, do you want someone to do that to you? Well, then don't do it to them. So just remember that the next time you want to think about one word you can use to guide yourself throughout your life. Alright, our last big idea is, yes, one should. So once again, a disciple asked Confucius a question, and he asked, should one put into practice immediately what one have heard, or something like that? And Confucius said, yes, one should. Well, that makes it simple, right? Should you put something you learn that you can use into practice, that you might make your life better or better for someone else? Yes, one should. What is this for you? Are you going to apply any of these ideas that you found to be useful, that really resonated with you, into practice? Alright, let's go through them quickly. Put into practice what you learn that you find useful for yourself. Remember, as Emerson said, trust yourself, or trust thyself. Every heart vibrates to that iron string, so you gotta apply what really resonates with you. Shu, do not impose on others what you yourself do not desire. Why study? Do you study to impress others, or do you study to improve yourself? Copy plus correct. Copy the good traits of others, correct the bad ones in yourself. And 50 years. 50 years of study should do it, eh? Alright, that was a quick look at the Analects by Confucius. Highly enjoyed the book, and I recommend that you read it yourself if you're into ancient wisdom. I'm highly into that at times myself. So think about the idea that jumped out at you, that really resonated with you the most. And think about how you could start applying it more consistently starting today. Alright, thanks for watching. Have another awesome day. See ya.